Good morning, everybody. I'm hoping I'm on screen because I can't see the feedback right now. Welcome to another Friday edition, episode number 6, maybe, of Unwanted Opinions. As the title says, we're running this ourselves. So,
can you liven it up a little
expect some technical difficulties. There's Justin, also known as Jelly Justin. I'm Magic Matt. We have our fact checker, Kyle, in the house today, doing nothing but brain facts, which are also called opinions, because we don't have a computer. So the information you're getting from this show is going to be legit, too legit. So, anyway.
Good morning. This is Unwanted Opinions with your hosts, Justin and Matt. Kyle Corley stepping in as fact checker. Broadcasting live from the Workspace Collective. You are such a loud and obnoxious quick talker. I have no idea why every time you bring us into the show, you sound like you're questioning everything you say. Good morning.
Is it morning?
Matt?
Time is a social construct, is
and
it?
You always remember to call me Jelly Justin. I'll give you that
if
much.
I'm bringing this in, I'm using the government names.
That's about all you
Jelly
remember.
Justin, Magic Matt.
We are live, so anyone, I'm going to share this real quick. Can you just talk a little bit for just like 30 more seconds?
Done. Now that you brought us in with your Justin radio voice. It's the same voice you use when you answer a phone. It's great because you'll be in a regular conversation and you're like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Hello, this is Justin. And it's like the enunciation is there because I think someone called you the wrong name one time. And I think that like hurt you in your soul. And so now it's Justin.
First of all, I get called the wrong name all the time.
What do they call you?
Jason, Johnson, and Jeff.
Johnson. I
Johnson,
like Johnson.
I got the most, believe it or
Johnson.
not.
You know what? I think that goes back to why, you know how you look like a cop?
I was about to say the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I was just like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, he looks like a cop.
Yeah.
Johnson.
You're off the case, Johnson. Yep.
I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah. I do, of all the things, so I got to do a ride along, which was very interesting, gave me a new perspective on cops. But the one thing I want to do is slam my badge and gun down on my boss's desk one day and just be like, over something just minuscule. It's just, ridiculous.
You didn't take the Keurig pod out of the Keurig machine.
Yeah.
And they're like, we told you to throw them away when you're
Right.
done. And you're like, I'm in. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm in. I'm back
Yeah.
in. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I have my gun
Yeah,
back?
if I were a cop, that's exactly. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm not a cop.
It is.
Because y'all would be, never mind, I'm not saying that.
For lots of reasons.
It's not a good,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take all that back for when I become police chief.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be a great cop.
Yeah, in case, if you guys don't know, first of all, there's no write-ins apparently in voting anymore. Because, well, at least
Because
in
of the
local
Harambe
election.
incident of 2012 or something?
Yeah,
It
probably.
was the D's nuts of this past
Yeah.
presidential campaign. That
Wait, did people write, like...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Two
'cause
states had like official on the ballot.
Yeah, like
That's
1.2% or something
amazing.
like that.
See, look at the fact checks.
That's brain facts.
Brain facts.
That's that reminds me of it was like the BBC did that, like, let's name this research vessel.
Right.
And the number one winning choice was Bodie McBoatface.
Big boat face.
And like they had to like come back and be like, well, we know like technically that's the one that won by landslide, but we're not going to name this like multi-$100 million state-of-the-art research vessel Bodie McBoatface. Which I think like if it's like, do you not like
Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm like, do you not want to draw more attention to science and what you're doing in the Arctic?
Right.
Because if you had a research vessel called Bodie McBoatface,
I mean, that's the
free
most
PR.
interested I've been in a boat in a long time.
yeah. If it wasn't for that, no one would even know this boat exists.
Bingo.
So I sometimes feel like corporations and like organizations they take themselves too seriously, and they're like, "This is the internet age."
What was that train that I sent you guys the other day?
Oh my god, that video was.
Yeah. Kyle, have you seen the video of the guy that's waiting for a train?
Oh, I think it was called like "Dick My Butts."
Yeah, that's what it is.
This is British guy. He's like, "I'm here at the station, in the middle of the night, waiting for my favorite locomotive." And I thought it was like a joke at first, but then you see him like get genuinely excited,
Yeah,
and then
I
he
still don't
hits
know.
you with him standing in front of this locomotive, and the name placard, no lie, is Dick My Butts.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then he gets the worst camera angle ever.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll have to post that video a little later on.
He has like I want that just because I need to make the most ridiculous. He has a headband and it has like a GoPro on it, but like it like fisheyes his head so he looks like Sid from Ice Age.
Or Timmy from South Park.
He looks like Timmy from South Park and Sid from Ice Age had a love child.
Yes.
That's very accurate description.
But was he meaning to have it on himself?
I don't know, but when he
This
put it
is
on
the
himself,
thing.
he's just running around giggling. He's
Yeah.
like, oh!
It's so hard to tell because for anyone that's spent a lot of time down at Magnolia Art Exchange, which is
Yes.
train station, you'll see that there's a ton of people that will just kind of like not a ton of people, but a handful of people that will come and park and wait for trains.
There's more people than you would think. I remember being there many a times for meetings, and it's just like, who are these people? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're just train watchers.
Yeah, they're just train watchers. So it's hard for me to tell, like, is this guy kidding or, I don't really know. But I was there a couple months ago, and I was trying to leave. I was in the middle of the day. Like, I'd already spent more time there than I needed to, or wanted to, I should say. And I'm trying to leave, and this guy's like, wait, stop. And I like stop, and I'm like, everything okay? And he's like, there's two. And I was like, two what? Like, I'm like,
Homeless
about to hit the
people
deck.
on the tracks.
Yeah, no. And I was like, two what? And he's like, there's two trains coming. You should wait. It's not one, it's two. I was like, oh.
I hope you waited.
I did. I was like, thanks. Yeah, no, enjoy that. I'm going to go to my job now. But I appreciate the heads up and that you literally stopped my vehicle to let me know that.
Double train day. That's good.
Yes. Come on, man.
It is for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a twofer.
I'm not going with that first line up there because
You didn't go with my first line up there the other time either.
It says close friend and in all caps betrayal.
Yeah. We're
And-
talking about betrayal.
Okay, you know what? Let's go for it.
So, y'all ever been betrayed by a close friend and know what the feeling is, the sting of that? Happened to me recently.
Oh yeah.
So, let me tell you a story. I'm not the most Facebook, Instagram savvy, admittedly. I know how to work it. I have the functional capacity of like
You logged in today.
a baby boomer when it comes to social media.
Hold on. Are you saying a baby boomer or like an infantile boomer?
Ooh, no, I just meant like an old person.
Okay.
What?
So
a baby boomer.
so you're using the full government name
Yes.
of their generation, a baby
Yeah.
boomer.
Do they have different names?
Well, but a lot of people just call them boomers.
Okay, boomers. About as
Well, I didn't know
tech
if you were
savvy
like,
with social media as a boomer.
okay, I didn't know if you were
There
like
you go.
a little baby boomer.
No,
or
no,
baby
no,
boomer.
like just a boomer, a
Okay,
boomer.
all right, sorry, go
So,
ahead.
anyways, and so you were telling me the story, and we were talking about Instagram and the actual stories on Instagram, and you mentioned close friend stories, and I was like, "What's that?" And I had no idea. And he's just like, "Oh, it's like a different set of stories just for." Your close friends. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a function. Okay, so like you got to do like 2 stories now. And you're like, yeah. And you're looking at me like you normally do when you tell me some basic social media function that like you should know. And why are you sweating? Why are you rubbing your face?
I have no idea.
You're
where this
very
is
red
going.
right now.
I have no idea.
You're,
where this is
you're very red right now. And so you're explaining me close friends' Instagram stories. And I'm like, well, how do you know? And you're like, it's obvious. The story ring is green if they're in your close friends. And then you look at me with all seriousness and go, like, if you ever see one of my stories, it's going to be green. And I pull up Instagram and I go into my account and I show you your most recent story without a green ring. And then you realize, you go, are you not on my close friend story list? And then you look in your phone and confirm that I'm not. So at that moment, sometime this week, I have been betrayed,
Okay.
in all caps, by a close friend, and it stings.
That's very fair.
It stings.
Listen, just so you know, whenever that like came about, like 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it started, and not every story is a close friend story, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Sure.
Well, you wouldn't know,
The wound is still fresh.
but when that came out, I just did whatever Instagram selected. Like, here you have this many people that you follow. Here's like 10% of them, and it was at the time the most active people, which you were not the most active person back then. And it's not
Yeah.
every story that I post is green. It's just like every now and then if I want to post something, like when I used to post like maybe say Theo peeing on a lot of stuff, You know, like not everyone needs to see that, so I would put that on the close friends. Like, all right, this is my kid peeing on something. And the whole world doesn't need to see that.
You're not. I mean, it's fine. Like I zoned out in your explanation
You're
because
on
I
the
knew it's
close
not
friends now.
substantive. So
I'm gonna post something just so you can see. What's funny is that you weren't on anyone's close friends list.
no.
Now people really don't post a lot, and you.
And that's what I'm
probably-
like. I just want to like. I like living in it. Sometimes like ignorance is bliss. Like you live in those worlds and you come to these stupid realizations, and you're just like, well, screw me then.
You've probably seen it. You're probably again when it came out. I don't think that anyone's adjusted that list since it like.
No, like I said,
first
I didn't
came
even know
out.
it was a thing, and I've struggled enough like just making regular stories, so I'm certainly not going to be making like 2 stories and then like being like, who's going to see my close friend story and then my regular like that seems like a lot of work.
It's not. You're justifying why you haven't seen any close friends.
Yeah, let me justify it.
I got to see one the other day, which is pretty cool. That I'm not going to say who it is because I'd be betraying the close friends list. But they got a message from a celebrity, a fairly big celebrity, to make them something, make them a hard good, an art piece, which I thought was pretty
Cool.
dang cool. So those are the kinds
Sick
of
humble
things
brag.
that, like, well, it's for them, but to me, it's one of those kinds of things like, all right, you want to show off, but you don't want to like get the crap, and you don't want the world to like,
Yeah.
you want to play it cool, but not too cool.
You want to
So-
stroke the ego a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I'm
Little
going
bit.
to let my close friends
Yeah.
know this. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's rectified now. All right?
Is it though?
All right? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't post a lot.
On your close friends, have you updated?
He is, yeah. I updated it then because I felt pretty bad, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a funny interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super funny.
No, I get that.
So I got Weed Car up there.
Is that what you took to the show this morning?
That's what I took to the show this morning because I'm in a rental car right now, and we go do the walk around, and usually I'm like, whatever, just do the walk around. It is what it is. It's a rental car. It's not gonna be that bad. Well, this has like dings and scratches all over it. Like
Yeah.
someone drove through a hailstorm that and then they went and hid in like thorny bushes to get away from it. Like I can't imagine what happened to this car that has all these dings.
It's
and
a rental
scratches.
car.
And well, yeah, but I've never been in one like that bad. And then he goes, and of course, no smoking. And he opens the door, and I just get hit with a wave of obvious weed smell. And he just turns to me and goes, well, obviously, this has been smoked in. So,
So is that a free pass? Like no smoking, and then like all of a sudden there's
Right.
like weed smell billing out, and then he's like, "But you got a free pass
Right.
on this
no,
one."
it absolutely is.
Okay.
Not that I'm going to utilize that, but if I were going to, if anyone else wants to, go ahead, because this car is so bad. But I got to put my kids in this, and I genuinely
Hotbox Justin's Corolla.
it definitely has been hotboxed in.
Jeez.
And so,
Too loud for kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's loud. So I'm just kind of I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just kind of staring at him, and he looks at my also kind of busted up Boxster right now, and he's like,
What's a Boxster?
it's a 986.
A what?
A 986.
I don't know what
it's
model
a project
make
car.
that is.
I don't know what it is either. It's just a little project car.
Is that a Porsche?
It's an old. It's an over 20 years old Porsche Boxster. It's not.
So it's a
Porsche.
classic,
It's not a classic either.
an antique.
No,
if
I
you
think
will.
it has to be 30. Is it 30 for an antique? 25. Yeah.
Brain facts, man.
So yeah, brain facts. Thank you for the brain facts, Kyle. It's 25 to be an antique. It's not an antique. It's not a classic. It's just an old beater Boxster. Which
It's nicer
all
than
right,
my Porsche.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm in a rental because I was in what I thought was my first accident ever. I tell someone, I was like, yeah, I've never been in a car accident before. Like, I've never,
Your head's gone through like 4 windshields.
Yeah, well, so I say this.
That's like why you are the way you are.
Right. I say this. I say that, oh, yeah, it's my first car accident ever. And they're like, oh, really? You've never.
That is a humble brag, Ryan.
Well, I'm just saying, I've never caused one or anything like that. And then they're
We're not talking about the Rex.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So, and then they're like, oh, really? You've never been in any kind of accident before? Like, I figured with you on a bike. And I was like, oh, I've been in a ton of bike accidents. And then
I've seen one of them.
Yeah. then
Unfortunately.
Right.
I almost ran you over.
Yeah, that was over a squirrel.
Well,
So-
that squirrel lived, so bless you.
Right. I was like, yeah, I've been in a ton of bike accidents. And then I was like, oh, and I mean, my head's been through a couple windshields. And then I was like, and
I hit you with a car once.
I've also been physically hit by cars twice. And they're like, wait, can you explain that? So I was like, well, one of them was kind of by choice-ish.
No, it was by choice.
Right.
You consented.
Well, I did consent.
You were a consenting minor.
I consented. Was I still a minor?
I think we were under 18.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
I was living.
That was like forever ago.
because it was. We had both. You were 18. I was about to be 19. I think. I don't know.
A couple of
'Cause it
adults.
was
We're a
that
couple adults.
It was the year that all the hurricanes came through, which I think was like that 04-05 area.
Oh, yeah, it was.
04.
That was 04, 05.
Yeah. So we were.
I was fresh 18.
You were fresh 18, and yeah, big mistake. Because I remember when we got the purple station wagon all crunched up, I was like, yeah, a limb fell on it. And the guy was
a
like,
limb did fall on it,
Yeah.
Justin.
the guy fixing the windshield, he sees the dent like on the frame on the top of the car, and he's like, man, that must have been like about 140, 150 pound limb. And I was like, yeah, about 152 actually.
I weighed it
Yeah.
this morning when I was throwing it away.
So I was like, yeah. So I had my buddy drive at me, and then the other one, I was meeting Lisa Lombardo for the first time ever at Stella's Modern Pantry, and a guy in an F-150, just ran straight through the stop sign, and I jumped and braced.
That's a
It's
very F-150 thing to do.
Okay. You know what? Ford's...
Dodge Ram.
Yeah, it's definitely a Dodge Ram move.
I think the Dodge Ram and F-150 people share that move.
Yeah, I think it's just that Ford thing that they're just directed towards people. Mustangs.
Yeah,
and
Mustangs for
F-150s.
sure.
So yeah, I just jumped up and like braced, and it just literally like bounced me like 5 or 6 feet. So I was like, okay, I guess this isn't the only accident. It's the only accident like I've been driving and like I wouldn't say caused because I hydroplaned, but so I did
This was the longest story just to tell us that it's not your fault that you got in a wreck.
I do that. And then I get this, I get my Boxer out, who, just like so many things that I need to fix on it. And within 48 hours, I get hit by a car I'm not there. I walk out and it's just like I see the scuffs in my broken taillight. And then 2 days later, I hit a raccoon who thankfully lived, but breaks my front clip. And
Is that why the paint's chipped up there?
Yeah. He was clawing at it. I had like
I thought it was a
stop.
$400 paint job.
Well, it's a $300 paint job, actually.
That Earl Scheib special right there.
So I broke the front clip. It's all scratched up, and so this thing runs out. I'm on a road I'd never drive down to, and I'm like, of course this happens. I stop, and I go to like see what's going, what is this? I got to pull this dead raccoon out, and he's just like, like I have to like kind of like tug him a little bit, which is why it's all scratched up right there, and he just takes off running. I'm like, I cannot believe this thing survived. My front clip's broken. I'm like, what is going on? And then I get the weed car. So I get this stupid rental car, smells like weed, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to just drive that? And I'm like, it only fits one of my 4 kids, so no, I can't drive that. And he's
One
like,
of them safely.
He's like, yeah, right. He's like, you know what, man, I'm just going to, whatever the next thing we get in is, I'm just going to call you. I am so sorry. This is...
Did he not drive it over? Did he not know how awful his Corolla was when he was dropping it off?
So, who is he?
The rental car man.
It's not his own personal car that he's letting me drive.
I know that, but he's apologizing to you like he's just as surprised at how crappy
That
this
was
car
his
is.
first walk around with it.
Oh, okay.
So listen, rental cars aren't like...
I thought it was like they dropped it off at work. I didn't know you went there.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
had to go there. The rental cars are a hot commodity right now.
Why?
Because they sold off a lot of their fleet during the pandemic, and so now they're having a hard time getting them back. And so, you're getting in rental cars now. It used to be once a rental car hit 25,000 miles, that was it.
Yeah.
They retired it when it goes to auction or whatever. You're getting in rental cars now that have
It's an 89 Dodge Celebrity.
60,000
200,000 on the clock.
Right.
Yeah, it's the only one we got available.
Yeah, you want a car or not?
It overheats. Just turn the heater on.
Yeah.
Whew,
So
LeBaron.
if you got an extra car and you can put it on Turo, now's the time. Because
What's Turo?
Turo's like a rideshare app, but for rental cars. So when I went to Austin,
So wait, you can just let someone rent your personal car?
Yes.
That sounds all. Yeah, I'm with Kyle. That was a deep sigh. Like, oh, I don't know about
It's a
that.
nightmare right there.
I mean, would you let someone stay in your house?
No.
Okay, then you wouldn't be part of Airbnb either.
Heck no.
I appreciate that you, of all the customers, that's when you decided to not say.
What?
Heck no.
No, I'm not going to HE double hockey sticks on air.
You had 5 last week. So.
Okay, Mr. Cuss Counter.
Yeah.
I didn't say the big ones.
Man, he is a cop.
He is, right? He is a cop.
a real cop thing to do.
Yeah. Thanks, Johnson.
Counting cusses.
So, yeah, Turo is, I use it in Austin. I've had it since 2014, never used it. And in Austin, I'm like, you know what, let me just try it. And it was actually one of the better experiences I've had with renting a vehicle. The guy literally dropped it off at the airport for me. It was super clean, smelled amazing, water bottles. And he's like, yeah, when you're done, just drop it off in the parking lot and we'll be good to go. So it was kind of amazing because if you've done the rental process lately, you know, they're back to being difficult again where you got to stay there and wait and do the walk around. It's not like just drop the keys and go like it once was for a little while.
Yeah, last time we tried to rent a car in Colorado in April, it was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, long story short, is like we show up to the rental car place and the line is like out the door and it's still cold. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why is this line so long? And then I asked the kid on the couch, I'm like, hey man, how long have you been here? He's like, well, my parents are in line. They're like almost at the front, but we've been here for 3 hours now.
Oh my.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so like, I just started walking up and like polling people, like, yo, how long you been here? And like, they started confirming
Who's the
story.
cop now? Mr. Inline Interrogation.
This is after like a 6-hour flight delay and like the worst airport. Didn't ever fly through Memphis. Like that was like, we had round trip flights that ended up having
What are you,
a
FedEx?
stop.
Who flies through Memphis?
Bingo. Like, I don't know.
That's
it was
not
it was a
it
round
is.
trip ticket. And then like
said
we end up in
bingo.
Memphis. So we're
As
like,
if that was like
yeah,
that's it. That's the
bingo.
answer.
I don't know, not us because it wasn't on the itinerary. So we land and we're like, why are we doing this? This was like
Newsflash, bingo.
this was like round trip, and then like the plane wouldn't start, and so like y'all got to get off. We ain't got no parts because this wasn't a stop, and there's no parts here. And that was a time where it's still like the pandemic's the thing. You have to have masks on, and like I remember
still that way.
Is it
It's still a pandemic?
It's still a pandemic.
You still
Okay.
have to wear a mask on
Anyway,
planes.
I'm from Florida, so like it's been a long time since a mask has graced this face, and so I'm in there and like I pull it down over my nose just so I could sleep, and like this guy walks up and like pokes me and wakes me up to tell me to put the mask over my nose, and like I'm in an empty terminal with no one around me. I was so mad. I've never wanted to like throw hands at a public worker more. But yeah, it was awful. So it's like we just had a bad travel day and then ended up at this like rental car place where and it's already like late and we still got a couple hours to drive, and it's just like, oh cool, we're gonna be here forever. Long story short, we ended up like renting from another place.
Long story short, he says again.
I pulled a U maneuver.
Yeah, that's definitely a me maneuver.
I've told y'all, I'll tell y'all again, if you hear Justin say long story short,
I took 20
up.
minutes just to tell you how the accident wasn't my fault and how I've been in 20 other accidents.
I think that was a 20-minute like combo just to tell people you have a Porsche.
It's a
That's what I think it is.
I
Chime
tried my
in if you
hardest.
agree with me.
I tried my
that was a
hardest.
setup so he could tell y'all he's got a Porsche.
That's going on the
Call
market
it a
soon.
Boxster.
Yeah, and then a 96, 996 or whatever. That's a Porsche maneuver. He's calling it by its numerical name.
No, it's a, how can I say this without actually? It was $3,000. Okay, it was a nothing car.
See, this guy calls $3,000 nothing.
I know, right? That's another very Porsche owner thing to do. Like it was just a couple grand.
Kyle, I was excited about you being here.
Great fact checking. he's checking your BS. Oh man, you've been read this whole morning. I feel bad.
Well, I deserve it for the betrayal. It was painful but funny.
Yeah, I'll change subjects. No, Jesse, he did not bring his ukulele. We did.
Can you tighten that thing down so
I can't.
your floppy microphone stops
can't.
interrupting us?
I can't. This floppy microphone just does its own thing.
Chili cook-off. Oh, 40.
Got him.
Your big old head's in the way, so I couldn't see it until just the moment that you moved as I'm reading it.
Yep. That was. I told Kyle. I was like,
40th annual.
It's a tough one.
Annual chili cook-off is this weekend. In case you guys didn't know.
Yeah. If you've never been, go. It's delicious chili and a wide variety of it.
It really is quite enjoyable too. I mean, there's usually a pretty big crowd.
Yeah.
But if you can learn how to navigate that, it is actually a lot of fun. It's one of my more favorite local events that we do.
Livestock Pavilion. They got like 2 years ago when they had it, and was last time they had it at the Livestock Pavilion. Yeah, huge stage with a band. I think Propaganda played.
Yeah.
And just do the flea market trick. Just keep left, and you'll eventually hit everything.
Yeah, that's also the maze trick.
Corn maze trick.
Well, whatever.
I did that. Like we did that at FAFO. Like we walk into FAFO, because like FAFO, when that happened, it's like on all these streets and it kind of spiders out. And I was like, let's just stick left because
if you're ever in a labyrinth, never take your left hand off the wall, and you'll eventually find your way out. You may have to go through every single exit, but
yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. This is fine. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. There's only I remember the winner. It's a double blind, or just blind, single blind.
Yeah.
Taste test for the winner, and it just happened to be that I'm gonna keep saying last year's because 2020
in 2019 is the last in person,
right?
Like big in person.
Didn't count because, I'm sorry, last year didn't count. The double blind winner was actually Big Lee's, and I know a lot of people. So you and I judged the last go around, and actually beat Jesse James and I this time. It was as well as a handful of other qualified judges.
Yeah, we're not the only judges.
Right. But a lot of people were like, of course Big Lee's won because, they're the name. And I'm like, no, we had no idea who's chili. I only knew of one person's chili. Yeah. Because it was hot ketchup.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Not going to call them out, but that was the only one that I knew too. But it's true. Like it's the way that they judge. It's like there's really no way of knowing whose chili it is because like if you've ever seen chili, it all looks the same.
Yeah, unless you have like the white chili or that one that was just straight hot ketchup.
Yeah, which just would look like melted ketchup.
But I also like made sure I'm not going to go try any chilies. I don't even want to know. I don't want a visual reference.
Yeah.
I just want to go in blind and actually taste this chili.
One thing I didn't know is it's like you eat and then they like you vote and narrow it down and then like eat more and it's all you have no idea whose they are and it's just like they like whittle it down and so yeah it's like by the time it gets there but hey Big Lee's had some great chili man. It was obviously a fan.
I think Big Lee's chili must have been at least on my ballot somewhere, but I don't even think my top 2 or 3 made
my favorite one didn't make it. It was a chocolate chili.
Oh,
I was the first time ever having. Yeah, the Boy Scouts did it, and the Boy Scouts. Shout out to whatever troop that was. Their chili was amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
But it was the first time I've ever had one like that. I was just like, dude, this is so good. Like it was like savory and like it was like every time I tell people that they're like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, don't think of like a bunch of Hershey bars melted into a pot of chili. Yeah, it almost was like a mole. It had like that good. You're sitting there and you're like, is this a hint of chocolate in a very good way?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sweet fan, so it definitely was not. It's not what you would immediately think of when you think of chocolate and chili.
I just liked it because it stood out amongst, and I think that's what happens, when you have that many and you're judging, you got to go with something that stands out, and that's actually good. So y'all should go check them out and try all the ones. And
yeah, I'm excited. If you have kids, they usually, I know it's potentially going to be kind of rainy, but they usually have like a bunch of little kids stuff. Our kids love it. Little bounce houses, little carnival games.
They need bounce houses for adults. Just like bigger versions.
Just get in there and just wait till someone kicks you out.
Yeah, they kick you out quick though,
Well, you got to be quicker.
Them kids got to be quicker when they get leg sweeped. That's all I'm saying. And then I get kicked out, and that's my fault.
Well, if you're leg sweeping kids, you're definitely going to get kicked out.
How do I get them off the bouncing area?
Just push them. You just wait till they bounce up, and then you push them.
Push right out the gate.
right at the gate.
Yeah, it's like, you got rubber bones, you bounce.
So I took the kids to, I almost said chili cheese last night.
Charles Easy E Cheese. I think that's the real government
Charles
name.
Easy E Cheese.
The E stands for entertainment.
The E stands for entertainment.
Charles Entertainment.
You do have just like a wealth of brain facts.
Well, guess what? Chuck E. Cheese was founded by same guy that founded Atari.
Oh, for those of you who might not have heard that, Chuck E. Cheese founded by the guy that founded Atari. Our screen went black.
Uh-oh.
Bring it back.
They might just, touch the camera.
Touch the camera. Our mics.
Hey,
we're back.
Fact checking and troubleshooting the electronics.
So the same guy that invented Atari also founded Chuck E. Charles entertainment cheese.
I bet you that guy just loves to have fun.
Yeah.
Like you invent like
What a guy.
a groundbreaking video game system and whatever Charles Cheese is.
Yeah. So I take the kids there last night, and I get so many comments of like, apparently people hate Chuck E. Cheese.
Why?
Yeah, my question exactly.
Do they know that Chuck E. Cheese serves beer?
I'm probably not. They probably don't know that. And don't get me wrong, you know, at the height, like the peak weekend hours when there's like a billion kids that aren't yours, like I get it. That's probably annoying. But on a weeknight, every now and then, it's a nice little treat for the kids. Like I actually enjoy it. Like I'm there playing the games too.
Well, we grew up with arcades though. Like arcades were still very much a thing when we were kids, and I think you know that Chuck E. Cheese is like the closest thing to an arcade,
Right.
For kids. I mean, it is an arcade, so it's just like I think it's cool, you know.
Yeah, it's a little rundown, little grody in some areas, but you know.
That's what happens when you have a bunch of little kids utilizing the
Snot-nosed kids.
facilities.
Yeah. Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed it. We killed it on the ticket game. Got a bunch of cotton candies, little toys. It was a lot of fun.
What'd you get me?
I did not.
Am I
find
not a
any
close enough friend to get a gift from Charles Cheese?
I did not find any switchblade combs, so yeah, you did not win.
I still have that switchblade comb.
That's insane.
You don't get rid of switchblade combs.
Well, but I
Probably did his hair with it.
yeah,
Like that.
mine broke. All 3 that I had.
we got that from the arcade that's like at the boardwalk,
Boardwalk.
in Daytona back in like '99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hit
Is it still there, Kyle?
Oh yeah.
It is.
There's multiples there.
There's multiples.
Yeah.
I'll have to go then.
They had like I remember they had like an actual pretty much just slot machine for kids that
Right.
would spit out tokens instead of money.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was messed
the
up.
best.
And then you buy candy cigarettes with the tokens from the children's slot machine.
It's funny that you say that. My kids are dumping out their Halloween candy, and one of them goes, "Yes, candy cigarettes!" And I was like, "What? They still make candy cigarettes?" And I walk out there, and it just says Hulk candy sticks, and my kids just put it together that they're candy cigarettes, and I was like, "I've solved all the big tobacco's problems. Just call them smoke sticks, and
Yeah.
you're fine." Like. Let's change the name a little bit, and people are still going to put 2 and 2 together. But I'm like, I cannot believe that they're calling these candy cigarettes.
I remember like the old ones that they used to have like actual like they would be like Lucky and it would like a
Yeah.
horseshoe and like they actually made them look like vintage like 50s packs of cigarettes. Arrow, you know.
My kids still put it together. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I remember we hit the bonus on the beep, 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 the lights.
Are we talking about Daytona 99 or
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese last night?
No, well, I hit the bonus.
Okay.
I hit the bonus a couple times last night on the games.
Wow,
No big
another
deal.
humble brag here.
Basketball, the little like hammer
You
light
want to
thing.
know one thing I remember from that
Free falling?
what are the
Daytona trip?
arcade?
Arcade?
I just lost them. Yeah, going to poop in their public restroom and realizing that not only did they have the stalls that are only like 4 feet tall, but there's no door.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sitting there like head above the wall, and then there's like no door on it, and it's like literally like awkwardly close to the urinal and being like, these are the worst public restrooms. But then you realize it's like, oh yeah, this is a public restroom right next to the boardwalk at Daytona Beach. So I imagine they get a lot of traffic and a lot of ruffians, and like we can't allow you a door
Yeah.
or enough privacy
Right.
for you to do any of your nefarious bathroom things.
I've probably, unfortunately, talked about this on air before, but when we
It's not going to
played-
stop you from doing it again.
It's not going to stop me from doing it again. When we played Palaca in football, first of all, they would always tell us every year that we had to keep our windows completely up, and then we would have to duck below the windows too, because if we beat them, which we did, they like to throw rocks at the bus.
That's what's up.
So
Shout out to Palak.
the
They
first-
go,
yeah.
they go harder.
very Palaca. So the first year I play there, as a freshman, we go in and we don't really know where we're supposed to be. Like, all right, here's the locker room, I guess, and there's just one toilet, just right in the middle. There's like a sink over here, like a little food prep area.
Like not up against a wall.
No, it's
Like in the middle.
Well, it's like kind of in the middle.
Because I imagine it's like, one of those like rooms where they have like the drain in the center so
Yes,
you can hose out.
yeah.
And they just put a toilet on
Right.
there. It's not even
No,
like wax
but you're
sealed.
You're
You just
envisioning
poop
it-
into the drain.
You're envisioning it almost exactly correct. There's that drain right in the middle, and then like 2 feet away from the drain, but still 4 feet away from the wall. No, nothing. Literally just a toilet right in the center. And I always before big football games or wrestling matches or whatever, I always got to take care of business.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a shy person.
Makes
so I
you
was just
lighter
like-
and faster.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, like, it was me and Mike Lippart, and I was like, well, I'm going to go first. And so I just started going to the bathroom, and this lady walks in with, like, hamburger buns and stuff, and I guess it's, like, the prep area for their food. And
Yeah,
she's
the
like,
toilet's a vegetable wash station.
right, yeah, something like that.
That's why we wash turnips.
Yeah, it's definitely a black thing. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, there's a toilet, like, I gotta go. And they're like, this isn't even the locker room. So they have to, like, move us. I'm like, so they all start leaving because I'm like, well, now instead of having a wall of people around me, it's just me in the middle doing my business. And she's like, I'm just going to stand at the door and not let anyone in. I'm like, you can be there for about 7-8 more minutes, ladies. Sorry. Very polite.
She's on the clock.
I don't remember us actually having rocks thrown at us that game, even though we did win. But I remember every year it was like, all right, guys, windows all the way up.
I'll say Palatka gets a lot of hate because as soon as you mentioned it, it made me think of when Lauren and I, for Halloween this year, we were at the Infinite Aleworks costume contest, and we were both in drag as white trash couple, and they're just basically like, what are you guys? And then we're like, oh, we're just like a white trash. And they're like, okay, we have Palatka over here. And like, we didn't say it. That was just like, that was just the name given to us. And so like all night people were like, what are you? And we're like, we're just Palatka.
We're just Palatka.
Yeah. So it checks out. If you've ever driven through it, it checks out. It's a wonderful place.
Beautiful, beautiful thing. Palatka gets a bad rap. They have one good restaurant there.
Angel's Diner.
No, not that one.
That's great. Where else are you going to get Black Betty's and Pussillos?
You're going to have to let everyone know what a Black Betty and a Pussillo is.
So Angel's Diner is like Florida's oldest like drive-up diner.
I think it might even be one of the nation's oldest.
Yeah, still like in operation. It's like this old like streamlined aluminum, looks like an Airstream trailer, and it's like a car hop joint, like a Sonic, but like a real one from like the early 1900s. But the Pussillo is like some like weird like Yoo-hoo milky chocolate, but not chocolate, like beverage that they make. It's strangely good. And then like a Black Betty is just like one of their sandwiches that they've just been making for like literally decades.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's good. It's worth going.
Hey, it's diner
going.
food though. Like you can like they have like fried liver and onions on like the menu and like other like really random weird old timey stuff. So.
Yeah, it's worth going. I'm just not going to tell you it's good. But they have Corky Bells right down the road, right on the river.
And I'm going to tell you that place is worth going. It's just I wouldn't call it good.
Okay. Wow.
It's Palatka.
I obviously hurt your feelings.
I would just rather be at Angel's than Corky Bells.
Oh, no, man.
Personally.
There's not a lot of places where you can get like real southern fried fish and frog legs.
It's hard to find in the South. I know. It's a struggle. It really is.
Okay, where can you get it here in town?
Fried what?
Like actual like southern seafood.
Blue Gator in Denellen.
What do you get there?
Frog legs, oysters, raw oysters, fried frog legs, fried gator, grouper fingers.
All right, you named one. That's not Ocala.
It is
Marion
not
County.
Ocala.
It's Marion
But I
County.
mean, it's in Denellen, so it's southern.
Ain't no Putnam County.
And it's right on the river. It's on
Yeah.
the Withlacoochee.
I have to give it
Right next to a fish camp, too.
Yeah.
So, anywho, we've digressed.
Well, I mean that's kind of the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have Counting Down to Die.
That's your. I just wrote it. That's your thing, your note.
Sounds like a James Bond movie.
What did I put Counting
Down to Die with Johnson.
Let's see here. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. All right.
You good?
I did count down
Is your
to
mini
die.
stroke over?
Yeah. So, I had to, I guess, give blood in a non-traditional, like, donating blood sense. They had to take blood
Okay.
a couple weeks ago. And I don't know if this is true, and you're going to have to brain fact check me here. But I've always heard, like, if you get a bubble of air in a syringe,
That's true.
you die.
Yeah.
Not true.
Okay.
It's not true?
It takes a significant amount of oxygen to
Okay.
override this.
So as she's trying to do this, she's not doing it with like, I don't like adhesives and I don't want to go into this. So I asked people if I can hold needles, right? Which if it's me doing it, I'm fine with it. Anyway, she's deciding to hold this needle. I'm like, all right,
Gross.
let's just move past it. I hear this loud, "Kss,"
And that's
she
the air.
yells, "Oh crap!" But the other word, and she screams it.
Big S.
The big S. She screams it and grabs my arm. And in my mind, I was like, and now like blood shooting everywhere at this point too after she yanks the needle out. But I hear this like big gush of air as she's like going into my arm, and I think, I think I'm about to die.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I don't want to freak out because I've already got issues going on right now. So I'm just going to count to 30, and if I don't die, I'm fine. And so
And if you do die, it's not your problem anymore.
right, yeah, I'm like, at least I'm in a place where they could try to resuscitate me if that works.
No, dude, if you die on a blood bus, they just drain you of all your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's free blood.
That's
Yeah,
free
that is
blood.
free blood.
Yeah.
Like, you'll, like, end up in a dumpster, and they're like, we hit our quota.
Right. So she's like scrambling around the room.
Yeah, pizza party.
She's screaming. She's doing everything she can, like I literally had like bruises all on my arm just from where she was grabbing my arm. And so I'm just silently sitting there. I'm like 29, 30. And I was like, okay, are we good?
How do you know that you're not dead?
Oh, am I dead right now? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, how do you know?
This is a certain kind of hell, so good point.
Hell is other people.
So anyway, I do this and I don't think too much about it.
Heck.
Yeah.
Oh, HE double hockey sticks.
Certain kind of heck. No, it's okay when you're actually talking about the actual place. So
Okay,
anyway, I don't think
The
much about
actual
it.
place.
Right. I don't think much about it. Hell, Mexico. I don't think much about it until like a couple weeks later. I'm explaining to like Roberto, Josh, Willie, Johnny, and I was kind of just going through it. And I don't know if it was Roberto or Josh was like, "Wait, you thought you were gonna die, and your whole thing was that you were just gonna count? Like that's what your mind went to? You didn't like think about your family, your life wasn't flashing before your eyes." I was like, nope, none of that. I just thought I'm gonna count to 30, and it didn't strike me as weird until they just were all kind of looking at me very, not even confused, but just kind of like saddened for
Is
me.
this a
Thing, though.
Yeah.
What? The other way is you're just gonna panic.
Right.
Why are you gonna introduce that?
Right, I don't want to panic.
Rip that needle out and just run, boy.
What's that gonna do? Run away from dying?
No, but it would be funny because they see you running down the street and you
Well-
fall over. They'd be like, that was one way to go.
Right. Well, they were all like, "What if you did die?
Yeah, right?
Well, if you did die, and your last words were 30." Like, and then like
on a
it's
tombstone.
that rosebud thing where everyone just spent years trying to figure out like
Yeah.
why did he say 30?
Did the blood really shoot?
Oh yeah, it definitely shot.
Because I was
Yeah.
saying, like, I thought that was fake as well. But, like, when I was in college and I'd sell plasma, don't look down on me, anybody. You know you've done it too.
That's one of
Yeah.
the better things to sell if we're talking about bodily fluids.
Yeah, man. So it was a legit gig. And they were like, yeah, can the trainer, stick you? And I'm like, at that point, like, I was like a regular. So I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do it up. And they pin me, and she goes to move her hand, and, like, they got, like, the little, like, whatever the strap is on your arm, and you're squeezing the ball, and her finger hits the needle, and it pops out, and it just sprays her.
Yeah.
They wear face masks and, like, the schmucks, and it, like,
Schmucks.
I giggled so loud because, like, it was more of, like, I didn't know that could happen.
Right.
So, like, it must have been terrifying for her because, like, she's learning, and it just goes, and it just, like, all over her, and I'm just started laughing like a madman because, like, I didn't know what else to do, and it was like a nervous reaction. It was the same thing. Like, the supervisor runs and, like, grabs my arm, and it's pooling everywhere, and I'm just still laughing. I was like, I didn't know I could do that. I'm pretty sure is what I was saying. But, yeah, like, that's it,
Yep.
It was like, I'm just glad that you also got to witness the
Yeah.
splurting of blood from the arm.
Yeah.
Did you hit anybody?
Oh, it definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I would
hurt.
say,
And maybe that's why she was screaming curses. I don't know.
yeah, you look like somebody that you didn't want to get, I wouldn't want to get your blood on me either.
Why? Can you explain that further?
Poor-sches owner.
Poor owner.
Yeah, poor-sches owner.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know why you.
Why
said-
did you think I was going to say something else?
I didn't know what you were gonna say. My mind didn't go anywhere with that. I was
Okay, 'cause I
blank
thought it
slate,
did.
waiting for your information.
So
on why
I
that
thought
would
you
be
counting to 30 as you're dying was like your way of like segueing into Love on the Spectrum.
So here's my thing, and I probably shouldn't even put it on the list. Is I don't know if I should feel bad watching this show or not.
I've never seen it yet.
Have you ever seen it, Kyle?
I have not watched it.
For those of you that have seen Love on the Spectrum, it's
Is it a comedy?
I will justify it, my enjoyment of this show. I don't know if it's supposed to be a comedy or not. I will.
It's about like people with autism who are pursuing like
People with,
romantic
yeah,
relationships.
people with autism that are pursuing romantic relationships is a very good way to explain that show.
I was in school for education.
All right, yeah, perfect. So Kyle's in school for education. So I'll justify my enjoyment of the show by saying it very much humanizes people with autism. Like if you've never been around someone with autism, and I don't know, it's a good way of showcasing that there are people with emotions and all of that too. It's great, but I laugh way too much of the show to feel like I'm not doing something wrong. So if you haven't,
It's one of those
seen
feel bad laughs.
No, yes, I don't know.
I
That's the
haven't
thing.
seen it. I only found out about it because Johnny sends me the screenshot and was like, Matt looks like this guy.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart too. I can't remember his name.
I'm not.
I remember the one guy, Michael, and this guy, but he's the red-haired guy. For those of you that have seen it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. He loves race cars.
Dang, I do like race cars too.
Yeah, he's such an absolute sweetheart. But yeah, there's moments where I'm laughing when I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh here.
That's what the producers went about, though. They're like, the producers, someone at Netflix is going to be like, they're going, haha, exactly, because they're like, this is going to cater to the people who are, like going like, oh, this is a sweet show. And then the people who are like using this as a comedy, and we're going to like have this broad umbrella and gather all of those audience in there, and no one's going to know what the show's actually for.
Yeah, I definitely hit both of those marks.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like, you don't think that those producers didn't have that in their mind when they were making that show, because it's like a lot of reality TV. It's very exploitative.
Well, but
exploitative. I don't know if that's the
it's
word.
definitely exploitative, exploitatory.
Which one is it?
I think it's exploitative.
Dang, got it right first go around. Brain facts.
But I don't know. I just don't quite know how to feel about it. I do enjoy it, and I hope you watch it because I think it's a good thing.
Is
right?
it good reality TV though?
Oh,
Because it's like there's
what reality show have you ever known me to watch? Probably not.
Flavor of Love.
Well, weird enough.
Is that right? I just guessed. I just guessed because
Wait. I've never watched that show that I can remember.
Lies.
But
More of a Rock of Love type.
Yeah, Rock of Love.
is that Sebastian Bach?
Yes.
I wish it was Bret Michaels.
Oh, Brett Michaels. Yeah.
The second best composer of all time, second only to Sebastian.
Anyway, of all the things for me to research yesterday, I did go down the rabbit hole of reading about Pumpkin from like the, I guess, first season of Flavor of Love. I have no idea why. Oh, I do know why. I saw a meme that was like, I'll never forget when 3 weeks after she got eliminated, Pumpkin was my substitute math teacher. So I was like, who's Pumpkin? And I went down this like whole, so I go down this whole rabbit hole of reading about Pumpkin, who spit on New York. Kyle says no.
Yeah, Kyle's a fan, guys.
It was the spit heard round the world. So it's just, I've never actually seen the show, but just yesterday I happened to read all about this.
Which one ended up in like Trump's cabinet or whatever? In his like.
No, that was a different. That's not New
She was
York.
from
That was
The Apprentice.
yeah.
That was,
Oh, okay.
what was
I can't remember her name.
I thought she was from Flavor of Love for some reason.
Well,
Was she not?
no, it's just all that reality. Those like years, and those years of reality TV like all blended together. Anyway, no, I'm not a huge reality TV fan, and I only watched it because our friends Josh and Ann were like, "Oh, you guys just watch the first episode or so." So
You're talking about Flavor of Love now.
No, we're back
Okay,
to
okay.
Love on the Spectrum.
Current.
And then they're just so endearing and sweet that I'm like, all right, well now I got to keep watching it.
Reality TV is like, I don't know, it's love-hate. There's some really good ones, and there's some like absolute freaking garbage ones.
Well, that's
Actually, they're all
everything.
absolute garbage. There's just some that are like less garbagey, I think.
Yeah.
So
You can enjoy some of the garbage.
yeah, there is some enjoyable.
Yeah,
garbage.
I hate scripted. Like I appreciate authenticity, and so when it's so obviously scripted, I just and meant to be as if it wasn't, I can't handle it. Can't do it. Like I just can't stand watching this, and I think probably that's one of the reasons. Again, justification of why I like Love on the Spectrum is because it's obviously not scripted. Like they feed them questions to lead them down the path.
It's all about the editing, though, like post-production work. It's just like, I remember when I found out, they were like, oh, yeah, they did to get all this footage.
Right.
And then there's like writers sit down and then like chop up and splice together all the footage and then like create this crazy narrative. And then I was just like, that's wild. Like, I could never imagine being on a reality TV show knowing that there's probably basically everything that's happened is going to be like taken out of context, switched around, manipulated, and worked into some like weird, crazy story.
I was, as you know, I did the Man on the Street for a short-lived TV show called My Ocala TV.
I was on that.
ABC. You were.
I was interviewed.
You were interviewed. So I did this, and the Man on the Street was, I go around and ask people. I try to, elicit funny answers from people, basically. And I can tell you just from that experience, we would film for 3 to 4 hours for about 2.5 minutes of television that was completely edited. And we could make any topic go any which way we wanted. That's why, if it's meant to be funny, I'll watch some of those types of clips. But when it's political, I cannot stand it because I know that no matter what the issue is, they've just waited until they found the most ridiculous person to answer.
Yeah, that's called news.
And they're like, oh, can you believe college students are saying this? And it's like, man, I know how many hours it takes and how easy it is to manipulate whatever you want it to be. We had to do it the other way. I interviewed a fairly large local person. Who,
not me, guys, not me. He's talking about someone else.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Has a lot of pull in the community, who couldn't put an answer together to save his or her life.
It's like that kid trying to talk about dreams.
Yes.
And then he
kept cutting for us. Cut.
It'd be great if he like pulled out his own like clapboard.
Right.
Like, where did that come from? Like, you just have that on you?
Right. Like 30 minutes of filming just to get like 12 seconds of him not sounding like an idiot.
Yeah. It's basically like, yes, thank you for interviewing me. Like, why did that take 2 hours?
Right.
It's one of those instances where you talk to someone or converse with someone in any format and you go, how did you get into the position of wealth and power that you are in when you have a seemingly third grade education and can't construct a coherent sentence in the 21st century on electronic devices or in person? Like, what is, like, how? And then that's when I kind of truly start to believe it's like, a lot of these people just kind of fell into these roles.
Just happens.
They just fell into these roles because, like, you know what?
Or
I
you're
don't think
not
anyone
smart
really knows
enough
what they're
to
doing.
like worry about risk or worry about what people think.
I think that is definitely a part of it.
One of my favorite like sales stories, which is an absolute true story, is this guy with like a D passing GED type education gets this sales job, and they're like, hey, you have to make 100 calls a day. And he's just like, okay. And so he gets this award. This is a true story. He gets his award, like for the year. And they're like, how did you do it? And he's like, just do what you told me to do. They're like, well, what did we tell you to do? Like, I did 100 calls a day. They're like, oh, that's it? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, he just followed the directions. He wasn't like one of those people who's like, no, I'm smart enough to know that, I'm wasting my time with, half of those calls. It's like, nope, they just did kind of what he was told to do. It was like the Forrest Gump mentality. Like, I just did what you told me to do.
Yeah, have some chocolates.
Yeah, there you go. That's what
problem solved.
That's all that movie's about, just having chocolates.
It's the only part I remember. that and the shrimp boat joke.
What's the shrimp boat joke?
You ever been on a shrimp boat?
No, but I've been on a real big boat.
There we go.
It was like 15 years after that movie came out.
Talk about delayed, like nothing like a joke that you get 1.5 decades later. You're just like, oh my God! It's funny. As a dumb kid, you're like, this movie's boring.
Right. No, I loved the movie as a kid, too.
I didn't. But I saw that around the same time, like, I think Ace Ventura came out, and that was, like, way more my speed.
That kind of eclipses it.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, why are we seeing this dumb movie? It's not even funny. And then you like Ace Ventura, and you're like, finally, real cinema.
Real, yeah. Funny enough,
my taste hasn't changed.
I still haven't seen the second one, and I liked Ace Ventura, but I was never like, this movie is
So
amazing.
Here's the thing: is it's like
I'll say When Nature Calls is the superior.
I agree. I agree, and it's funny because Jim Carrey didn't do any sequels because of that, because I think it didn't do well in the box office. It didn't do as good as the first one or something. It didn't meet their benchmarks, whatever. But I agree. I think the second one is funnier than the first one. It's just so over the top ridiculous.
Meanwhile, I thought Cable Guy was hilarious, and everyone thought I was
Cable
a
Guy
psycho.
is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's become like a more of a cult classic. But at the time when it came out, like I remember even The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like made a joke about it because they're like, "Oh, here's the script from Cable Guy," and Homer like grabs the frame and he's like, "You ruined Jim Carrey's career."
It's like it is when it comes to like dark comedy, like that is like pinnacle. Like it's funny and it's twisted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's
It's uncomfortable.
It is, but it's like it's that funny like darkness to it because it's like it involves like stalking and like the guy who's raised in a broken home, like all these like weird issues. But like man, it's classic though.
Yeah, I think so.
It's definitely one of those ones where it's just I think it gets better with time.
And now it reminds me, I really want to go back to medieval times.
I've never ever been and
You didn't go on the church trip with us?
No, I don't. I've never been to medieval times.
I feel
Like
like
I
you have.
love going to Hogtown Renaissance Fair and cheering for my knight, who let me down last time. Blue Knight, you better
My
better
knight
get your act
won.
together.
My
But yeah,
knight won.
I've always wanted to go. Like I can't remember what podcast I was listening to recently where they were talking about that, and someone was like, "Yeah, there was like some of them that were like, oh, that sounds dumb," and like the other half of the group were like, "It's
That was
the
the
most
Flagrant
fun thing."
podcast.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, "No, it sounds amazing," because like that's
No,
the same
it-
thing about like.
I think
like
even
Hogtown.
I think Alex Media was like, "No, it is fun."
Dude, but that's
like the
being
cool
at-
guy of the group is like, "No, it's yeah." It's
But being at like Hogtown is like the same thing. Like you have your beer and your turkey leg, and you're watching people joust,
Right.
and then hand-to-hand combat. Like if you're not enjoying that,
Right.
like I don't know what kind of walls you're putting up in your life to like not allow you to enjoy
Yeah.
pure entertainment.
I'm just too cool for this.
Like that's the pinnacle of human entertainment.
Yeah.
Like we've strayed
They saw,
away
like,
from
the
it for a
live
while,
chess.
but like UFC is getting back to it. Like soon it'll be in a coliseum and they'll have weapons and it'll be a true fight to the death.
You know what's crazy about UFC is it's become more normalized. Like back when it kind of started getting big, it was like that was like, oh, I can't believe you're into that. It's so
Yeah.
aggressive. And even for me, still when there's like a lot of blood, I'm like, oh, I don't like
I imagine
this.
that's what it was like with like gladiators, right? So it's like the same
no,
thing.
I don't think
blood sport.
I don't think it's the same thing at all.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The modern version.
It's a modern version.
Yeah,
It's more
modern,
PC.
Food, modern times.
Yeah.
UFC.
To me, I think that we've just gotten so bland on so many of the other sports, like boxing. Other than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder being very exciting, boxing, especially like a lot of people are gonna hate this, but Floyd Mayweather, arguably the best defensive boxer.
Yeah, but he's
ever.
boring.
Very, very boring to watch. Canelo Alvarez is exciting, but finding him a partner is
Is he the ginger Mexican?
yes. I know you said nothing wrong there, but it made me slightly uncomfortable.
I can say that I'm a ginger.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
It's
he from Mexico?
He's from Mexico.
Is he a ginger?
He's a ginger. I'm not saying you're wrong, just something about it.
You
felt
saying
wrong.
this makes it seem wrong.
That's
It's
all
so
I'm trying to do.
direct.
Yeah, it was.
He
Yeah.
really drove that
Yeah.
to you.
Is that the ginger Mexican?
Okay, Johnson. You need to calm down, cop.
All right. Anyway, I just think boxing's gotten so boring that it's like, all right, we need to fill in sport, and UFC's done that. So, I've certainly enjoyed it more than I once did. Well, I realize I can turn this way and bring my mic with me.
I'm gonna enjoy it when they start getting weapons and shields again.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're here broadcasting out of the Workspace Collective, downtown, beautiful Ocala. Workspace. Sponsored by, I'm going back to it, the Touchdown Group.
Oh, and happy birthday, Trey.
Happy birthday, Trey. Thank you so much for all you've done and all you do. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Kyle.